helping a young boy be able to express himself to his dad, or a mom that doesn't get punched in the face that day, there's a significant difference in the reward, the happy feelings you get working with this community. The world of people that serve this community, so para educators or special education teachers in the school system, don't get paid very much. And so I was trying to pay those people well and provide a really high quality service to the community.
How do you get clients to fill up 8 gyms in 2 years?
Basically, we just started telling people that we exist.
Hello and welcome to Gym World Worldwide. I am your host, John Franklin, bringing a very special guest on the show today. With me is none other than Ryan Webb of Agrove Academy out in Elk Grove, California. Is that where you are, or is that just where the main location is?
Oh, that's the main location. We're basically kind of the greater Sacramento area of
So,
California.
so give us a rundown on the business. What is it? Why are you here on Gym World? And I asked you and begged you and pleaded for you to come on and tell your story.
I don't know. We run a gym that is all the terminologies, but I guess it's semi-private training, and our main niche client are people that have neurodivergent conditions.
And how did you get into training people with neurodivergent conditions?
We had a young boy come to our teen class who has autism and is moderately impacted. So he's doesn't communicate verbally and has problems just kind of associated with those types of things. And he participated in our program, and mom and family just going on and on about the changes that they were seeing in his life, and not just physically from a gym. So there were lots of behavioral improvements that they were seeing, and the only thing that they could attribute it to, the only thing that changed in this young man's life, was that he was coming to the gym and participating in this program with us. And so that really opened my eyes to how effective what we do is at improving people with neurodivergent conditions' lives, and just how many of them there are, and that no one else is really doing a good job of serving them.
So you were a Gen Pop gym. It was the Grove Fitness. You had one person come in and you made a huge impact on that person's life. And how did you, was it like a gradual process? You kept training more and more neurodivergent people, or were you like, this is it, this is what I want to focus on, and pivoted the business?
For several years, we felt that the semi-private small group training, or that sort of trying to get away from the bigger groups, was what's best for clients. So because we had that set up already, this young man was able to come into our program, and because it wasn't trying to fit him into a large group, it worked out, right? It worked for him. And then him coming, and his mom let me know that in California specifically, there is funding from the government to pay for these kids to participate in community activities like being able to go to a gym. And so our format just happened to really work. And her letting me know that this funding exists, and kind of giving me at least a little bit of a glimpse of how big the community is and how large the need was, we started exploring creating a class just for them. I've created specialty classes for different groups in the past. Like we've done like a a a women's only group where we shuttered all the windows for women that have religious beliefs where men can't see them without their hair uncovered, right? Or without their hair covered. And we've done all sorts of these specialty programs before for communities that aren't served any other place. So we figure we could try doing something for this community too. And so it was just started out as a coach taking on, just starting to talk about it and bringing a couple more of these clients into the gym as basically kind of a semi-private personal training model. The word spread real fast that we were doing that, and talking to parents, getting more and more aware of just how large the community is and how underserved they are. And so there being an enormous opportunity to serve them. And the more we started to work with them, we realized that in a Gen Pop gym, helping someone get ready for a wedding or fit back into a dress, or like there's some happy feelings that come from helping people achieve those sorts of goals, but helping a young boy be able to express himself to his dad or manage a behavior in a way that isn't harmful to him, or a mom that doesn't get punched in the face that day, like there's a significant difference in the reward, the happy feelings you get working with this community. So, real quick, we understood the need and that we are able to make a big difference, made the focus be primarily them. Because while I think our model serves everyone best, there aren't very many options for the neurodivergent community. And so we doubled down on serving them and being the place where they can go.
And what year was that when you started to kind of lean into this?
So November of 23 is when we had our first handful of clients start coming.
And so you mentioned there is state funding available. How does that work? And then maybe run through how you package and price your service in relation to that.
So there's a couple ways that it works, but basically a company can become a vendor, or families can search out businesses that they want to work with and can contract their services for their child or for themselves if they don't have a conservator. So we based our prices off of, well, we started with what we would want to pay a coach, and then using the ninths model. So if we're paying 4 ninths to a coach, then working backwards, then this is what the program needs to cost in order just to support paying a coach what I think a coach is worth. Because the second problem I was trying to solve is the world of people that serve this community. So, para educators or special education teachers in the school system don't get paid very much. And so I was trying to pay those people well and provide a really high quality service to the community. So, serving two communities at once. So, we started our pricing for the what we would charge based on what I thought a really good wage would be, and then if that equals 4 ninths of what the program has to cost, then that's how we kind of backwards fell into what we have to charge for the program.
And so what does that work out to? Is your pricing on your site? Did I find that? No.
It should be on there,
Yes.
but
So yeah,
so
so it's 380 for one a week, 650 for two times a week.
yep.
Got it.
And that those are kind of loosely based on how the frequency is kind of loose, but 380 or 650, the arm works out to be about 520, because not everyone wants to come twice a week, but most people do. So
And so of that, how much is usually covered by state programs?
all of it.
And is there a cap on that? Or is there
So
a
each
predetermined amount?
California in total is divided into 13 different regions. Each of those regions has a different governing body that kind of decides how it will fund or how much it'll fund for programs. So that varies across the state. But in California or in Sacramento, rather, the cap is 650 a month that the families have to use on any activity, any extracurricular activity. So it kind of works out that they have the option of using all of their funds with us, or they could use some of their funds with us and some funds with other activities that they want to do.
And we haven't mentioned this yet, but you're not a single location anymore. You're up to five, six, seven. I can't keep track.
Eight now, technically.
8 locations in the last 2 years. We briefly touched on the other side of the coin, which is hiring. So you said you focus on, did you say para educators? Was that the term you used?
Yeah, so the basically the teachers' aides that work in the school system as helpers for in classrooms. They've been a place that we've gone, and then we've also found really good people that have more of a fitnessy background. Really, we're looking for the people that care a lot and have patience and perhaps experience with a loved one who has a special need, because it's kind of, while it's we're trying to make it financially rewarding, I don't want that to be why they're doing it. They're doing it mainly because they, whatever the intrinsic rewards from giving back to them is more important than the financial rewards.
Hey, gym owners, are you looking for a way to generate more leads, close more sales, and increase client retention? Introducing Kilo. We are a software company that gives gym owners the tools they need to increase revenue and run a successful gym. With Kilo, you get a beautifully designed website to capture more leads, an integrated marketing automation platform to increase sales, and our gym management software so you can add new client memberships, process payments, and organize your class schedule. If you're ready to upgrade your gym management software, book a call at usekilo.com.
These aides in classrooms, what do they typically make when they're doing their day job?
The school system pays like maybe $20 an hour. There are contracted services that go into the classrooms and they pay a little bit more. They pay like 27 or $28 an hour, but that's not very much in California.
And what does somebody make in a fully sold out class with you?
We've been starting people at 50 an hour.
So for them, it's substantial. It's at least 2.5 times what they're making doing similar work.
It's significant, and they're working with a smaller group of people. So instead of a classroom where there's 10 or 12 students that are trying to help manage, our groups are never more than 4 people. And the ones that require more support, it's a one-on-one, a one-on-two sort of situation. So their job is easier in that they're not having to manage as many kids at the same time, and they get paid a lot more.
How do you get clients to fill up 8 gyms in 2 years?
Basically, we just started telling people that we exist.
So it's just a close knit community, word of mouth. Once you're in, everybody, you deliver a good service, everybody tells everybody.
Yep, there's that. We get referrals from the regional center, and we do lots of paid ads.
And how can, with specific targeting, like how can you target like the neurodivergent population? Or is it something
You
where you're
can't.
just general and they
You
find
can't, but it's
Facebook
just
does its
general
work?
shotgun, just telling everybody that we're doing it. The more I'm getting involved in this community, the more like everyone seems to have somebody that they know. Like my friend's son or my brother's son or stuff like that. So just letting everybody know has proven to be an effective method. So like our cost per lead isn't very high. I mean, relative to other lead costs that I've had for general population stuff. Yeah, we just let everybody know.
And so I'm sure a lot of people listening, like opening, I opened up three in a year, and I thought that was a miserable, stressful experience. I think you are the only person I've heard of doing more in the small group space. How do you open up 8 gyms in 2 years? How are you getting this deal flow? How are you funding this? Like that is velocity.
I mean, I don't sleep. Lots of caffeine. I
Yeah.
mean, you just do it. I don't know. There's a fire in the drive to serve as many people as I can is strong. And so we're just trying to go as fast as we can.
And are you the only person doing something like this in your area? I've heard of other gyms in this niche, but none in California. And yours is the first I've heard with government subsidy, though. Now, since then, I've heard a couple other places have it too. But like, how competitive is this?
We're fairly new. We're kind of the first. So in California, around California, there's more than just us. So we're kind of the first ones that have popped up in the Sacramento area. There are people that are starting to copycat. Copycat feels like the wrong way of putting it, but that are seeing what we're doing. We're not secretive about what our prices are. So there are people that are starting to do it. Becoming a vendor, that whole process takes some time. So there's a little bit of a lag between people just being able to open a gym next door and just steal all of my clients or whatever. But there are more and more gyms doing it because we're talking about it. And I think it's becoming more aware that the need is there, and specifically in California that there's funding available. It kind of feels like early day CrossFit.
It kind of is a land grab right now, and what it looks like 5 years from now will be very different than what it looks like today.
Yeah, very much. That is a pretty good analogy with CrossFit because there will be people that try to mimic what it looks like without understanding the whys with us. And I know that I'm incredibly biased, but I feel like we provide a better service because we understand the why. And that comes from doing this for a long time and partnering with some of the universities in California to sort of prove that what we're doing makes a significant difference in their lives. It's not just an activity. It's not just, oh, we're adapting fitness to people that have behavioral disadvantages. It's not just adapting CrossFit to someone who only has one leg, right? It's a different thing, adapting to this community. And so there will definitely be a variance between the people who understand the whys and the theory and the people that are just copying what they see being done.
And are your peak classes middle of the day, or are you running all throughout the days? Like, how does your scheduling work?
So most of them come kind of the after school or after their programs that they're attending during the day. So our busiest times are like the 3:30 to 7:30. That's the busiest, but several couple of our locations there have got people in there all day long.
So it mimics more like the hours of a sports performance gym than like a general gen pop, where it's really busy really early in the morning, really busy late at night.
Yeah, there's hardly anybody here early in the morning. I would probably say none. Yeah.
And how big are these spaces? They're
So we've been kind of up to now, the model has been right around 2,000 square feet and with a couple coaches, with the idea being kind of centered around the 150 member mark. That I forget the name, whatever, but
Dunbar's number.
yeah, Dunbar's number, exactly, right? So the idea being that we could do them smaller so that we could have lots of them because no one wants to drive more than 10 minutes. But it's what's turning out to be true is that parents will drive a little bit longer than a normal gym pop person would for a gym. So we can have fewer gyms that are a little bit bigger so that we're looking more towards the 220, 230 member mark, so that that community just gets a little bit bigger and we're able to have more coaches in fewer spots, so that the community is stronger instead of a lot of little communities. We're more concentrated in bigger communities, and it seems to work really well. The Because that community is so tight knit already, dividing them into smaller communities hasn't played out to be what's most beneficial to them.
And is class capped at 4 or 6?
Four.
And a fully staffed location, say when you're around that 150 member mark, how many coaches do you need to run that?
In one of our locations that kind of does it the best, they haven't gotten to 150 yet. They were sitting at like 136. They had two coaches that were basically full time, and then three coaches that were more part time. So with the goal being that we have four full time coaches, and full time to me means 20 hours a week.
4 full-time coaches, 20 hours a week. Okay, so, and then for, you mentioned ads, marketing. Is all the sales done on a per location thing, or is everybody going through you? How do sales work when you got eight
Per
gyms?
location. So we have ads that go specifically to each location. We have the lead funnels and client managers for each location.
Got it. And so each one's responsible. And so is there any like unified back office staff that runs the eight, or everyone's basically independent?
So there is a larger like back office, whatever you want to call it, corporate, just for lack of a better term, that manages the higher level things, but the lead flow quickly goes into each gym specifically.
And so for gym owners listening to this, maybe not in California specifically, they maybe have affinity to the population or someone starting off. Is this something you can bolt on to an existing gym? And if so, is that something you would recommend? Or, doing over, knowing what you know now, would you start and have your location be solely focused on the neurodivergent population?
I think you can bolt it on, depending on how your gym is set up, may limit the types of clients that you can work with. If your gym is set up as we run large groups with really loud music, and um, all we do is barbells and box jumps, like fitting this, you're going to limit the number of people that are going to be able to work or just even feel comfortable in that environment, even if it's doing PT in the corner, because they'll be, too overstimulated or distracted. Or so there, while there's levels to how sensitive people are to different environments, the more specialized to them you are, the more of them you will get, because you can be accommodating to a larger variety of sensitivities, if that makes sense.
Because it's not a great environment. They're not going to want to stick around there.
Yeah, or be able to be in it at all, right? It really depends on what your gym looks like already. And if you're not operating or not familiar with operating in more of a semi-private only situation, then because it's different than a coach coaching 20 people than a coach working with two people. You need lots more coaches to start with, right? You need the availability to be flexible in programming and the equipment use and all that, and have people that understand that we're not going to have any music at all sometimes, and you got to be able to still do your max weight deadlift in silence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the more catered you are, the better the program will be, the wider variety of people that you'll be able to work with. But there's a need everywhere, and I'm sure every gym, particularly the boutique CrossFit style gyms, could find a way to add it. And the more that they can accommodate those people, the bigger that program will be.
I think that's sage advice. And I know we're getting close to time here. I promise to keep it short for you this time around. So if people want to learn more about the opportunity, what you got going on, maybe reach out to you personally. Where are you sending them, Ryan?
If they want to reach out to me personally, wow, I don't even know.
Don't.
I not don't, but I guess DMing Instagram is probably the easiest way.
We'll link down to you. We'll link down to you below, so you don't have to try and remember what your username is.
Yeah, so like going through the Agrove Academy or the Grove Fitness on Instagram, initially lots of people will see it, but it eventually would get to me. My personal handle, I don't even remember what it is, but that could work too.
So we'll
But just
start at the
going,
gym, and you'll
yeah,
filter, and we'll get it to Ryan. All right.
yeah,
So don't send him any nudes or anything because somebody else is watching that. So
somebody else will see it before me. Yep,
yeah, and if that's your thing, do it. But I don't know. But if you got 8 gyms of your own, you should use Kilo like Ryan does to manage it all because
yep,
it's a lot. When you're opening gyms every 20 seconds, you need somebody to build those websites and build the piping in the back. And Ryan, we appreciate you using us, and we hope if you got value out of this, dear listener, you will go to usekilo.com and book a call. Until next week, when my co-host Mateo Lopez returns again, we shall see you, Gym World. Until then, love you. Bye.